Welcome to Made in Walker, the podcast that connects you to the people, the stories, and the ideas shaping our community. From local innovators to everyday change makers, we're diving deep into what makes Walker a great place to live, work, and grow. Here's your host, Nicole DiDonato.
Well, the City of Walker is always looking for great people to step up and serve on one of our many boards and committees. One of those boards is the Downtown Development Authority, which oversees revitalization for Standale. And one of those great people is Cindy Ludwick. She is the owner of 7 and Main Salon on Lake Michigan Drive in Standale. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, always a pleasure. So 7 and Main Salon, where did that name come from?
Well, I was very adamant that the name had to stand the test of time. And there's so many companies that I think maybe don't put a lot of thought into it. And so I was, I don't want to say bullied, but kind of bullied into the name. But I really like it. And I am really glad that my staff came up with it. And they, they kind of developed that. There's 7 of us that started, and Maine, of course, Maine of Hair.
Yes, it fits perfectly. And what drew you into the salon industry in the first place?
Well, I went to the Kent Career Technical Center through high school when the cosmetology program was actually there, and served on a board there to try and keep that program. But and the program ended up being too expensive and there wasn't enough filtration into the community, so it didn't make it. But I had a really instrumental teacher at the school, and there were so many fascinating things about the industry. And we got to learn about biology, physiology, a lot of psychology, some chemistry. So it was very interesting to me. I got into the industry a few years and then decided I wanted to learn more about the business end. So I went back to college and probably took the hard road because it took me almost the course of 2 decades to finish 2 degrees. But I actually never thought I would be in this place owning a salon this late in my life. So, but it's been a great experience. I have a great staff. It's been a really wonderful move.
Of course, you're so much well-rounded because of all of that you've experienced, the behind the scenes, being out front as well. And when you opened the business, what was your vision for it?
Well, the vision was simple. The vision was to provide a beautiful space for very talented individuals. I had worked with and trained with a number of professionals that were unhappy with their environment. And I just thought there has to be a way to make a beautiful space and do something right for them. And so we had a lot of discussions. We had a lot of talk. I took a lot of notes, and then we made a plan. And we had a lot of help, because we had a pretty quick turnaround. And so it was a great move. I haven't regretted it, but we've been growing since. Yeah. And so that's exciting to see. But with growth comes change, and change is sometimes hard.
Of course. What types of changes are you seeing in the salon industry?
So changes in work schedules, changes in the trainees that are coming in. They just haven't had as much work experience as we've had. And so it's different training them. But when we started, we were all of the same caliber of stylists. So we started with the business model and then had to adapt because we knew we had to add people. And how do you add people charging one price? You couldn't do that. So we had to implement a level system and some training. And but the training has been amazing. I have a couple of really talented trainers that are really bringing those young people into the future and really training them to be exceptional stylists.
And what does it feel like to have women come to you, knowing that you're going to make their day? When we come to you, our hair is, at its wit's end, and we're just looking at you to transform us. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, we feel like whole new people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes we call it the celebrity experience. And that's why it's always good to know a couple people in the salon, because you can have that. We strive to have an environment that is welcoming, not just for you to know one person, but for you to know many people in the salon. So when life happens, as it does for all of us, we can take care of you. It's an amazing responsibility to be in charge of somebody's well-being. And, but we celebrate with people, we grieve with people. So we experience it all.
And you had said before, just psychology, psychiatry, maybe. You develop some pretty deep bonds with the people that you site with your clients. They're with you for years. And as you said, you go through a lot of the ups and downs. You hear everything more than maybe their friends, their family, coworkers. That responsibility, and how do you all absorb that?
Well, I think there's an element to mental health that we have to protect ourselves from. And we have to not get too taken in by other people's crisis but we feel, I mean, we're human beings. We feel what they feel. And, but we have 4 generations of clients that have become like family to us. We've been serving in the community for over 20 years. So we have a lot of people that are common to each other. And so it's been a wonderful experience, I think.
It's incredible responsibility, like you said.
Yeah.
That is a lot that comes with it. Running a business, of course, has some challenges. Like you've mentioned, you've seen a lot over the decades. A lot of things have changed. Styles have changed, but that's not the only thing. What are some challenges?
Challenges in the industry are vast.
Okay, yeah.
The industry
question to answer.
The industry is changing faster than we can adapt to it sometimes. But it's just a different way of doing business. We just have to, people are busy. People don't want to spend as much time sometimes in the salon. So we have to accommodate for that. We have to be more flexible. We're offering online scheduling. We're offering shorter services. We try and offer everything that would fit their needs. Like one of the things we're working on for next year is more availability with scheduling. But with that, you have to change people's schedules and that becomes difficult. So there are lots of challenges, but we're just wading through them, as they come.
Yes, of course. And what advice do you give young stylists or people who are thinking about it, going and making that their career? What are some, some realities that you have to let them know about, but other great pieces of advice as well?
Well, I would say get in with a group of professionals that are able to help train you. We provide an environment of learning, and that's what you have to do. You have to kind of replace yourself long term. If I ever want to retire, I can't just get up one day and say, I'm going to retire. Good luck. See you later. I'm trying to provide a place for people to be, whether I'm there or not. And so, I think one of the biggest things that hit me was when we opened the business, I needed shoulder surgery. Well, I couldn't get it right away. We were too busy. But in the long run, I had a team of people that could take all of my clients and handle all of them. And I was out for a while. I mean, longer than I thought. But you can't just say to people, I'll see you in 6 months. Good luck. Sure. You can't really say that. So it's wonderful to have, we try and have an environment that is welcoming. And we want you to know more people so that when life happens to one of us, or we go on vacation, or you have a death in your family, somebody's there for you. Yes.
And, I don't want to be remiss in thanking your other stylists too, because for you to be here to do this episode, some people who had scheduled times with you had to be moved around. And that's, again, something that, maybe I didn't even think about at first. So that's a juggling act. Yeah.
It is a juggling act. And I'm trying to adjust my schedule so that I have enough time for the business and to still serve clients, because that's what I love. Yeah. So I am taking more time away from clients to handle some of the necessary things that need to be done for the business.
And you had mentioned too, early on when you were at KCTC, as far as being on a board, here you are years later, you're serving on our Downtown Development Authority board. Again, we kind of work to help revitalize, oversee some of the developments, improvements in Standale. What made you want to step up and serve?
Well, I met Mayor Carey during the pandemic, and he was very helpful in helping us navigate that very challenging time. And when asked to serve, I thought, what a great opportunity to learn more about the city, more about how everything works. I've learned so much. I've met so many amazing people like you through that process. And I think we're I'm a community member, but I'm also a business owner. And we have business leaders that are helping to develop that. It's not just one person saying, this is what's going to happen. We're all working together to make sure it's in the betterment for the whole community. Yes. And I really think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you are invested in the community. You're a business owner in the downtown representing your fellow business owners. So you have you come with that mindset.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said like being part of the community as well. How long have you lived in Walker?
We've lived in Walker for almost 10 years.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Lots going on, a lot of changes, of course, but we're trying to navigate that, that kind of controlled growth.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure.
And what are some of the things that you're excited about with Standale?
I am excied to see the development. Yeah. I know a lot of people are concerned about the rate at which we're building, but there are some controls behind that, and we're trying to do it in a very controlled manner. But there's also some very exciting things that we're looking to propose, like behind the fire station. We want to make it something that the community wants.
Absolutely. And, I'm always asking you for advice, at least with this, for folks who may think that they'd want to know a little bit more about what's going on in the community, the Walker community. What is your advice for serving and for the time commitment, what it entails? What advice and insights can you give to someone?
I think it's always good to get involved, and you don't have to get involved in a capacity that's beyond your reach. I think we have a meeting once a month. Sometimes I'm asked to serve on subcommittees, but it's not a huge commitment, and your input is important. So I would say, if you are concerned about what's happening in the community, get involved, because there are many, many ways you can get involved.
That is the easiest way. You're just right front and center, see things happening as it does.
Yeah.
And where do you see your business, flourishing going in the next several years?
I see us as a much more polished version of ourselves today. I think we've created an environment that I want to maintain. I don't want us to get too big, that we lose that personal touch, that we lose that camaraderie, that team building that we've done. So I'm trying to maintain that in a certain framework, but I see us as just expanding to accommodate the community in which we serve.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. And how can people get in contact with you? What's the best way?
Lots of options. We have an email out there, hello@7inmainsalon.com. We have a phone number, 616-453-7888. Or you can visit our Facebook page or our website.
All right. Yeah. Wonderful. Cindy, it's been such a pleasure getting to know more about you as a board member, also as a business owner within our community. Thank you for all you're doing, for stepping up and serving Walker. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, and we appreciate you for tuning in as well.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Made in Walker podcast. If you have comments or questions about this podcast, or if you have suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop us an email at podcast@walker.city. Made in Walker is the official podcast of the city of Walker, Michigan. You can find Made in Walker wherever you get your podcasts.